Good morning and welcome to another daily live webcast called Jencast, a daily live show that happens Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern here on yfelive.com. Today is Focus Friday. Focus Fridays are my favorite because we get to work on past goals and making sure that we are achieving what we want to achieve. Today's guest is Lisa Nicole Bell. She's a favorite of young female entrepreneurs. We had her on YFE Chat, I don't know, when we were first getting started, and she's going to be telling us or talking to us about how she's gotten her dream projects and clients lately, and how she's been working with projects she cares about, and of course, how to perfect the pitch. If you follow her on Instagram, you know that she is constantly out there pitching. She shares it with us too, which I'm always so grateful for, because you actually get to see what it looks like to be Lisa Nicole Bell over Instagram. So, Lisa, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yes, of course. I'm so excited to be with you. You know, I love this community and love what you're doing.
Well, thank you. So for those that haven't watched your YFE Chat Live, or they're not following you right now, what is it that Lisa Nicole Bell, because you have an enterprise. I mean, you have a Lisa Nicole Bell universe. So what are you up to these days?
Well, there's kind of the Lisa Nicole Bell brand, and then there's Inspired Life Media, right? And within Inspired Life Media, we're kind of starting to expand into more traditional media. So until recently, it's been mostly digital stuff. We're creating original, premium, multi-platform content for the web, for mobile. So our clients have typically been big brands, they've been small companies, they've been high profile individuals. So this is really an exciting time because we're starting to move aggressively into scripted content, into unscripted content for television and things like that. And you know, if you like Netflix, if you're watching stuff on Hulu, if you're watching stuff in your phone, then you really know where that whole thing is headed with the intersection of entertainment and technology. So that's something I'm really excited about, and a place that I'm playing in. As far as the Lisa Nicole Bell brand goes, it's the writing, it's speaking, it's being an advocate for women in entertainment and business and technology, and helping us do more of the awesome stuff we love to do.
Well, and I love following you on Twitter because you were talking about the intersection of technology and media, and you're always sharing these exciting things that are happening in the media. Like yesterday, you shared about the Will Ferrell, or a couple days ago, I think.
Yes.
Will Ferrell. So what exactly was that piece about? Because that was something you were really excited about. It was focused on females.
Yeah, exactly. So right now I'm an advisor to an entity that's a slate of feature films starring female protagonists. So this is a project that's in its infancy, but I'm so excited because, you know, I don't have to tell you that women are underrepresented, particularly behind the camera in the entertainment industry. So I'm excited to be able to contribute what I know, my strategies, my thoughts, the things I'm seeing in this way to this particular slate. And I think it's really fantastic that someone like Will Ferrell is really stepping up and offering, you know, this production company that is really focusing on female content, because as of the past 2 or 3 years, we're seeing that women are funny. You know, we saw what happened with Bridesmaids. We saw what happened with The Heat. We're like, not only are women funny, but women want fully developed characters. We want to see ourselves reflected back in a way that's authentic. So I'm excited that he's doing that. And I'm excited about, you know, all the interesting things that are starting to happen for women who are in entertainment and media and having higher levels of visibility.
So let's talk about these projects that you're taking on. Like you mentioned, you're working with female protagonists. You're kind of living out what I see from the outside as a Lisa Nicole Bell dream life type of a deal. Everything I see on Instagram, it's always inspirational, and it's always you going after what it is that you want, that I picture as being kind of like as you were a little girl, that this is something you dreamt about. Is that fair to say? So,
yeah, for sure.
So how did you actually make this become a reality? What advice would you give to other young female entrepreneurs that have this dream client or have a dream project that they want to work on? What would be the steps to get to that place?
Well, I always advise people to reverse engineer whatever it is they want and work backwards. A lot of times when we have a big goal that we're attempting to achieve, it's kind of overwhelming, and we're like, I have no idea how I would get there or how I would get that done. But we have to break it down into the smallest pieces. So here's what I do. If there's something that I want to achieve in 6 months or a year, I go, okay, well, what needs to happen every month in order for me to achieve that? And then I break that down and go, okay, well, what needs to happen each week for me to achieve that? And then I go, well, what needs to happen in the next week? What needs to happen tomorrow? Right? Because when we know exactly which action steps we need to take, we're excited Our vision board stops just being this thing on the wall and it starts to be something real that we're experiencing. So it's really all about connecting the vision that we have with the heart-centered aspect of it, because a lot of us are very heart-centered in that we want to do something that feeds us and feeds the world, and then connecting that to action. We have to get into action every day, which I think is what you're seeing, is that, I'm taking steps every day, however big or small, to move toward those dreams.
All right. So, you've broken down the actual goals. You say that you want to take actions every day, reverse engineering it, but you also mentioned the heart part of it. So you're working with people you're incredibly passionate about. You shared on Instagram the story of one of the females that you're working with. So how did you actually get to that point where you realized, I need to be working on projects that I care about? I was about to say it in a different way, but that you care about. And what steps do you take? I mean, do you make that vocal? How do you let people know this is the area I want to work in?
Yeah, I'm very vocal about that. And I think, when someone sits in a room with me, they can feel that. There's an energy around what I do that they can feel and sense that I'm just wildly passionate about it and would stake my life on it. But I think I remember being like in my early 20s and reading. I mean, anyone who knows me well or follows me online knows that I am obsessed with books and that I read like they're going to outlaw books soon. I just love it. And in books, one of the patterns I saw was that people would be in these situations where they would wake up at 40 and 50 years old and have this realization that they had just been chasing money and not chasing meaning. And I thought, well, then I need to organize my business and career around meaning, because I believe that there's a way that you can have meaning and money. They're not mutually exclusive. So it's really about saying to my clients, listen, here's what's important to me. Here's how I want to show up in what we do. This is how I've cultured my team in order to present ourselves in a certain way, to engage with our clients in a certain way. And that really resonates with certain clients. They can tell who's just in it for money. They can tell, who's kind of running a business because it's already in motion and they don't really want to switch it up, versus who's just insanely passionate about it. So it's important to me that my clients understand that I'm coming from a very values-based place. And I like for them to come from that place as well, because I find that we can do incredible things together when they do.
So you've done the work then, that actually you've outlined exactly what it is that you care about, where you almost have like a stump speech type of a thing as a politician, where, you have certain things that you want to achieve. But I think that's a great idea. I think it's important for all of us to really understand that, to do the time to actually know who we are as young female entrepreneurs. And I feel like that can also, we need to give ourselves permission for that to change too, and give each other permission for that to change. If you see another young female entrepreneur change and do something different, it's okay. She's still in her 20s and 30s. It's not that big of a deal. So, Lisa, you've been doing, like I said, I follow you on Instagram, and you often take pictures of yourselves in elevators, very fancy, swanky elevators, sitting in waiting rooms, in the car. So you are constantly on the go. I am always impressed by that. And oftentimes it's on your way to pitches. So over all of the pitches that you've done, what are some key takeaways for us to really perfect the pitch?
First, a book recommendation. There's a great book called Spin Selling, that I highly recommend. Aside from that, here are a few of my best tips for pitching. The first thing you want to do is think about what the other person wants. I know that's kind of counterintuitive, because you're like, shouldn't I be thinking about what I want? No. Think about what they want. Because here's the thing. There's a saying by Jim Rohn that says, if you help enough other people get what they want, you can have anything that you want. And I truly believe that. And when you're going in to sell someone on something, if you're presenting something that is genuinely beneficial to them, you're much more likely to get what it is that you want. So start there. How is what you're proposing to this person actually beneficial to them? And if it's not, you may want to rethink the proposal. Like, it's not necessary for someone to win and someone to lose, right? We can have a win-win situation when we go in to pitch someone on something, or when we're negotiating a deal. So that's my first tip. My second tip is really going to be to ask yourself, why you want this thing. Sometimes if we've been thinking about a deal or an opportunity for so long, we're just obsessed with getting it and we kind of forget why we were going after it to begin with. So it's really about checking in with yourself and saying, what part of me is this going to feed? Why does this matter to me? How is this going to help me? How is it going to accelerate my career? It's about being really clear about your why, as Simon Sinek called it. Know what your why is, because it makes everything else so much easier and so much richer. The third thing I would say is something that one of my acting teachers told me when I first started out in the entertainment industry. She said, Lisa, you want to hit your home run in the room. You don't want to hit your home run in the car on the way home. And what she meant by that was that when you're in the room, you want to put all the head trash aside, whatever happened this morning, whatever's going on, you want to put all that stuff to the side and you want to get in your zone and you want to give your very, very best performance in that moment. Because the worst thing that could happen is for you to get in the car and suddenly you have all these great ideas and you're focused and you're inspired and you want to share all these different things because it's too late a lot of times. So you want to be prepared. Preparedness is a very, very important part of being confident when you go into pitch, because some people are great on the fly, but others really prefer to have a set of talking points to kind of know where they need to guide the conversation. So it's important to know yourself in that way and to work toward that.
Well, and I think that's interesting that you bring that up, the idea that you're prepared and that you're not going and having that talk, self-talk in the car saying, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that. The Seahawks, I'm brought back in the last couple of weeks of just their success in the Super Bowl. I'm out here in the Seattle area. And the idea that they were performing at Super Bowl level at every game. And I think that's the same thing that all of us as entrepreneurs need to have, the same type of mindset where regardless of what pitch it is, regardless if it's practicing in our bathroom, we're always giving our A game. And it's something that I think we as young female entrepreneurs sometimes get distracted by. At least I don't want to generalize this. Maybe it's just me that I get distracted by, like you said, the things that happen before the meeting, especially when you have kids and you have a husband or you have parents you have to take care of or something in life happens. That's so easy to let your thoughts get in the way. So Lisa, what do you do? Because you are, I feel like, the epitome of the female that really understands herself, that has worked everything out. What have you done that has made it so that you can keep that self-talk in focus?
Well, like you alluded to, a lot of it is self-knowledge. And I find that a lot of times we're kind of, as female entrepreneurs, afraid to step out of a comfort zone, afraid to try new things because we're afraid of what people are going to think. I often say that the most important day in a creative person's life or in an entrepreneur's life is the day they stop caring what other people think. Because many of us are prisoners to the opinions of other people. And so when you get to a place where you can say, I'm just going to try this, right? It might not work. I might fail. I might look silly. I might look like I'm all over the place. But at the end of it, I will have so much clarity about who I am and what I want because I've tried everything. I tried all those things. And now I know exactly who I am and what I want and what lane I want to be in. That part is really important because, going back to the idea of pitching, people can pick up on that. There's an energetic thing that you bring with you when you're like, this is who I am, this is what I want to do, and I'm really clear about that. And it instills confidence in the person that's listening to you, I found.
So I want to end on that note, the failure part, because this is something that we talked about on our daily action calendar was Lincoln's birthday. He failed a number of times, and so we took it from there. If you go into a pitch meeting and you get a no, what's your next step? Do you take the no as being the final answer? What if someone doesn't answer right away? What if it's like a maybe or they just don't reply back right away? What is the next step for you?
Yeah, no, a lot of times means not right now. So, I ask about alternatives because sometimes they're saying no to the direct question I've asked. They're not saying no to me. They're not saying no to the possibility. So I ask about alternatives. I like to do a lot of that homework on the front end, but even on the back end, just investigating why I'm getting no. Also, I like to follow up and stay in touch. Sometimes it's just an issue of bad timing. That person is saying, no, we can't do this year, right? No, we can't do this month. So I don't believe in like these permanent no's. Also, someone may be working at one company and maybe they have to say no, but they have a friend at another company who could say yes. And the way you respond and accept that no has a lot to do with whether they're going to feel comfortable referring you to someone else. So I say, follow up, get as much information about the no as you can so you can inform your pitch and your product and service. And then also, stay connected because business is done through relationships.
Fantastic. See, this is why I love following you. It's like you're a little beacon of light for me at times. Because you do, when you hear the 1,000th no, it just gets really irritating. You're like, how are people getting yeses ever? Or even if it's a yes, it'll take forever for the contract to actually go through.
The worst.
So Lisa, thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully everyone will follow you. So where can people find you online? Because what I love about you is that you're not necessarily, this is just Lisa being awesome. She's coming here and mentoring other people, and you're not necessarily pitching us anything. So I want to make sure that people can follow you afterwards. Where can we find you online? And Twitter, Instagram?
I'm in all of those lovely places. I'm at lisanicolebell.com. That's my digital home. I have a weekly blog there, my newsletter with all kinds of inspirational and motivational stuff. Twitter, Lisa Nicole Bell. Facebook, Lisa Nicole Bell. And Instagram, Lisa Nicole Bell.
I love it. Well, Lisa, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we've been watching Lisa Nicole Bell. Make sure that you follow her, definitely on Instagram, because I'm always inspired by the action she's taking, and she will often share little inspirational snippets. If you follow her on Twitter, she shares a lot of information as far as the entertainment industry goes. So you've been watching the daily live webcast called Jenn Cast that happens Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern here on YFElive.com. I'm your host, Jennifer Donogh. Tweet me at Jennifer Donogh, use the hashtag JennCast, and comment below this video with what you do when you pitch, any advice that you have, or any takeaways that you took from Lisa Nicole Bell. All right, everyone, sign up for yfe.me/mail to stay in the loop with everything young female entrepreneurs. Otherwise, have a very happy Focus Friday and happy Valentine's Day. Thanks, everyone.